My name is Craig Catlett. I'm a manager on the local church services team, and I am with Matt Orozco, who's the senior graphic design specialist on the local church services team. And we're going to do a quick Q&A for you, less than 10 minutes. We don't know exactly how long, except it's going to be short because as the new year rolls around, I speak from experience here. As a former church leader, church leaders are grabbing the things that have been on the back burner, they're bringing it to the front burner. And as I check the email inbox here at United Methodist Communications, things that are coming to the local church services team, we're getting a lot of questions about branding. Some people like the brand. Some people have been sitting on it for years because they don't know, what to do with it or where to start. And that's why we have someone like Matt Orozco, the senior graphic design specialist on our local church services team, because we have so many questions regarding logos, and he does tons of logo work for us. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing well. Ready to go. New year, new me. Let's go.
All right, good deal. If we could break it down, if this is a too long didn't read situation and somebody had to go and we had to focus on three things, and we were just telling them up front, look, you're trying to do a logo, you're just talking about a rebrand. What are the three things that people would want to keep on their mind as they're trying to rebrand their church and thinking about a logo, things like that?
Right. The three main things that I try to focus on are simplicity, flexibility, and originality. And with those three things, you can break it down to have it a little more understandable. For example, like with simplicity, it's best to effectively convey your message through branding and not try to complicate your logo with a million different symbols, because that opens up the opportunity for misunderstanding, miscommunication, and it's better to just keep it super simple and effective. And any specifics that you need to convey, it's better to do, with your branding efforts.
So like a visual one take, you look at it, it's easy to understand. I tried to do my own logo one time. I was just like, hey, I can do this. And after a couple hours, I realized this is harder than it looks to make something simple and understandable and all attractive at the same time.
Right.
You would have put all kinds of stuff in it.
Yeah, and it's, you need to consider it as a billboard, driving down the road. Your typography should be bold and easy to read, minimal color palette.
How many colors is minimal, do you think?
I would, working with digital right now, you can, you've got the full gamut to work with, but when it comes to printing, you're usually with outreach materials, you're usually going to be limited to one color. And sometimes you can get away with two if you can add a spot color, but a lot of times the technology isn't available to do what you would like to do on certain items. So if it looks good in black and white or a monochrome, it's going to look good, once you enhance it with color. So start basic and then elaborate, after that.
Sounds solid. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say flexibility?
Flexibility, you have to consider all the different areas in which your logo is going to be used. Some spaces are tall, some spaces are wide, and so it's always good to have a logo that's going to plug into those. You want to have a square peg for a square hole or a round peg for a round hole, just to make sure that you look like you've come prepared. And the logo, needs to appeal to more than your congregation in regards to flexibility, because it is about sowing seeds and outreach. So you don't want to alienate certain groups as you try to recruit or draw people into the flock there.
Okay, I can get that. You got me thinking. An example of a logo that's not very flexible. How about maybe a something with a very long name that is like all type printed out, so that won't fit on the pocket of a shirt as well as it will maybe the whole front of a shirt. Are you talking about things like that? Like
yeah, exactly. And what I like to do when we're working with the church is, show them, this is how you need to move forward in a tall situation, like on the pocket of a shirt. So if you've got a name that's a mile long, these are the spaces where it's going to break and wrap, so it's, stacked on top of each other. And it's more or less handled by a designer versus, someone who is just a craftsman putting the artwork together for you in that particular setting or that particular space, because they may not know the intricacies of how you should format the wording to maintain the proper flow.
The concept of originality, I think, is I mean, it's probably a little bit easier to grasp, I think, because I mean, we've all seen something that's I don't know, we consider original. I've seen some TV shows that have been shot in a certain way recently that I'm like, I've never seen that before. That's original. When we're looking at an original logo, what are you thinking about?
You kind of want to, give insight to your congregation. Specific to, I like to draw elements from the architecture, because we are the church, the body of believers are the church. But also it's important, to kind of showcase where you are and kind of the history or heritage if you've got, a grand setting where you worship. But also, if it's more about, the love or the openness or the outreach, you can try to symbolize that in your logo. And so it's, like I was saying before, it's okay to use religious symbols, but you also want to be appealing to those people who aren't churched or who may have, you know, um, who may not receive the cross in flame, as it, is in you, how you see it. They may see it a different way with a negative connotation.
Love can look like a lot of things visually. I can get that, all kinds of things, peace, joy, whatever the values your church stands for. I could see that, visually, you can make it look like a lot of different things.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, it's good to, keep, like I said before, keep it simple, use typography, use wording to, express the message so that you're not, trying to overcomplicate it with, stereotypical images.
So flexibility, originality, and what was the other one?
Simplicity.
Simplicity. All good things to remember when creating a logo. If you need help creating a logo for your church, that's what we're here for at United Methodist Communications. Matt, as our senior graphic designer on the local church services team, all he does is help local churches. So if you need help and you're a United Methodist church, feel free to reach out to us if you have any type of inquiries. We're here to help. I'm Craig Catlett. I'm a manager on the local church services team, and this has been Matt with you today. And feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help you. God bless you and your ministry.